Hey everybody, welcome back to Everyday Journey. Today we're going to work on this old Craftsman 60 reel mower. And the reason for it is because I want to get this one at least in working condition. It does work, but it has an issue with it. So that I can compare it to the other ones that I have. If you didn't see it in the thumbnail, I for some reason like these things. They take a lot of work to use, but you know, they do work and you don't have to put any gas in them. You don't have to do anything to them. You just grab it and push. So this one right here is having an issue with one of the wheels. You see this one right here, it turns pretty freely, but this one over here is kind of stuck. It is moving, but we want to go ahead and take it off of there, figure out why, see if we can't get it working, get it freed up so it works like it should, and then hopefully be able to compare it with the other ones. So let's go ahead and take, this looks like a 1/2 inch socket, well, a 1/2 inch bolt nut, and we're going to go ahead and undo it right here. This hopefully is what holds our wheel on. I don't see anything else that should. And of course, it is just turning. So this other side here, see if I can tell by this one. I think it's supposed to have a flathead screw, but I don't know if we're going to be able to do it because I can't see the flathead. So let's see if we can't expose the flathead portion of it. Scratch around here on the surface. And it doesn't seem to show a flathead. So let's go with the other option and see if we can't grab onto the, it looks like a washer, so I'm not thinking it's going to work, but let's see if we can't grab onto this outside washer here and see if that won't help us. It's helping. Although it is a washer, so I don't know how it's helping. Maybe this is like a carriage bolt. And I think it is. I think the washer has got a square. I think it's square on the inside, so as long as I'm pulling out on it, I think it's working. Sadly, this nut is kind of rusted. But it looks like it's coming off. I think we've got enough right now I can actually grab hold of the bolt itself. Yeah. See, that'll give us what we need now. Yeah, let me show you what I was talking about. So if you can see that, it is kind of a square, see if we can focus. It is kind of a square carriage bolt, and the washer itself has a square hole in it. So if you can see it right here. There we go. So luckily, it was kind of rounding, but luckily that worked. Really and truly, it should be something you can attach right here so that you can grab hold of it, whether it be a flathead or whatever. But work with what we got. So set that aside and see if this wheel won't come off now. And I'm just lightly tapping all the way around it. We're losing parts. Looks like that's probably, it's got grease on it. It's probably a kind of a one-way thing. So whenever you're pushing it, you push it and it's not gonna, it turns this. when you pull it, it's not supposed to turn that. So that's probably what that is. I think it's going to come off now. And we are about to lose a gear too. And this is the gear that drives the reel. And it looks like there's not really an issue with this. Just looks like it's all gummed up. Years of use, years of sitting outside. I think it just needs to be cleaned really well. So on the back side of this gear though, you can see where this little star pattern, that's where this key goes in here. And I have to figure out exactly which way it goes, but it will activate only one way. So as it turns, it will go around this and slip over it, but the other way it'll catch. So we just have to check that out as we put it back together. So now just a matter of cleaning, lots of cleaning. So I won't show you guys that, just a matter of spraying some degreaser on there and doing a lot of scrubbing. And then after we're done, we'll apply some lubricant, probably some more grease, and get this thing going. All right, I wasn't gonna show this, but I do want to show you what I'm looking at here. I did spray some degreaser on there. And the brush I'm using, trying to get down into these grooves, is not working very well. So instead, I'm using a screwdriver, and I actually just going through and scraping it out. But there's considerable difference between the ones I've done versus the ones I haven't done, and it literally is scraping it out. So I'm going to go through here and scrape all these out, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the other gear. As you can see, it's covered in grease, and it's not as bad. Probably be a lot easier, but I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll get back with you. But you can see all the crud that I got out of those gears. That's just what was scraped out of the gears. So now I'm going to go ahead and dump that out, give it a good scrub and wipe down, and let's put it back together. All right, so now that we got it cleaned up, this is, if you're wondering how this little key worked, the flat on this side of it here will actually go against the flat on the inside of this. So whenever you're putting it together, just make sure that it goes on the shaft that way. So this will just fit down through the slot that's bored there in that shaft. And then when you put this on, you can test it. You spin it one way like this, and it doesn't do anything. And then whenever you go this way, it engages. So that's working properly. So we're going to go ahead and put a little oil on this. I'm actually using oil instead of grease just because it's going to get stuff in it again. So if I ever want to take it back apart, it should be a little easier to clean. But it'll still lubricate it. So there's just going to be a thicker weight oil. Should do the trick. Not exactly easy to do with just one hand, but there we go. So that's all lubed up. Go ahead and put some on the gear teeth. And then go ahead and put some on this shaft. And then for the wheel, I'm going to go ahead and put some inside and kind of on the gear teeth as well. And it's kind of overkill, but you can never have too much lubrication, at least in most instances anyway. Look at how easy that turns. That's the way it should be. Probably turns better than the other side. So now we just take our bolt, put it through again, and put our nut back on the other side. Once it's all tightened down, we should be back in business. Look how smooth that is. So you can see, here's the one that I worked on. One way spins freely, the other way spins the blade. And here's the one that, get this out of the way. Here's the one that I was the worst of the two. I mean, correction, this was the better of the two. And you can see it's kind of rough. Little hard to turn, but it does turn. So that'll work good for the test. Really what I need to do is take this one apart and do the same thing. So the last thing I need to do, and this is just a matter of preference, is I'm going to actually adjust this, the adjustment in the back to raise it up so it cuts at the highest it's going to cut. It's just a matter of a flathead. Let's see, make sure. Yeah, it's just a flathead on each side and a, looks like they've been worked on before. One of them actually has a square head or square nut, and the other one actually has a hex nut. And so they have, somebody's worked on it before and swapped that out, either stripped it or something. So all I'm going to do is just loosen that, adjust the height up, and then tighten it back down. And then this will be ready to go. So hopefully next week I will have a video out of the operation of all these. I've got 4 of them, all the way ranging from 2 of the newest ones that you can get to this one, which is the oldest, and then one in between, which is similar to this, except for it does have some plastic parts on it and things like that. So this one I think is the oldest. It actually, somebody has replaced the metal, well, replaced this this guide roller in the back for your height adjustment. I think this one, this model actually originally had a wooden one, and so somebody's replaced it with a metal tube, looks like just aluminum, and it's working. It's noisy, but it's working. So we're going to go ahead and leave it on there for now. I just want to see the difference between how these cut along the way. I have sharpened them all, at least the best that they're going to be sharpened. Some of them have some issues with the blades so that they can't be sharpened any better, but at least as far as use goes and how they cut, they all do cut. So we'll just see how they go, compare all the models there, and let you know what's going to work best for you. Because this one I think I got for free. The other one I think I paid like 20 bucks for. Same for the newer, almost the newest. And the newest one I actually got for free from somebody who they got it from somebody. And, nobody likes to use these things anymore. But if they're tuned up properly, you can go with one that you got for free to something that's working really well. And then you don't have to have gas. You don't have to have oil. You don't have to go spend, especially if you got it for free, what does a new mower cost? You push mowers like, somewhere between $200 and $500. So there's a lot of expense there that you can avoid just by getting something like this. And the better they're tuned up, the better they're going to work for you, and the easier it's going to work for you, and making it a lot easier to mow. So hopefully this showed you how you can kind of work on these a little bit. If you need to know how to sharpen these, one method is a way that I did in one of my other videos. I'll put the link up up here on the top and in the description. If you got any questions about this, just send me a comment. I like to read them. I like to respond. And if you want to see anything else with these reel mowers, let me know that. And hopefully the next video I got will show you how these things are working in operation and be able to compare the cuts and everything. So until next time, y'all take care.